everybody. Welcome back to ATU Live Season 2. We have some amazing things in store for you guys, and we can't wait for y'all to hear all this great information that we have.
In tonight's episode, we are going to be focusing primarily on seniors and questions that they may have before graduating. So tonight's topic is finding a job after college, resume building, and graduate college.
For those of you who follow us on Instagram at ATU Red Live, you might have seen a special post earlier talking about some sweatshirts. Yes, we are giving away some sweatshirts during this ATU Live, so make sure you stay tuned because we will be giving those away during the live. All you have to do is share our post on your story and make sure you tag us so that we'll know that you shared it, and watch all of the lives so that you know whether or not you want a sweatshirt.
And to start off the show, we are going to do our first sweatshirt giveaway. So congrats to Nadia Massey. You have won the first sweatshirt of the night. Please DM ATU Res Life on Instagram with your name and your sweatshirt size, and you will get further instruction on where to pick up your prize.
Congratulations on winning that prize.
Yes. So first off, we will be discussing how to get a job after college and building your resume.
I hope y'all have some pen and paper because the people that we're about to have join us have some really good information for us. We have some special guests today who will be helping us answer some of your questions. And joining us today are Amanda Lowe and Kyla Stewart.
So to start off, how can people build their resume in college?
Well, there's a lot of different ways that students can build their resume throughout their time in college, such as part-time jobs. So any jobs that you've worked off campus or even before you came to college, on-campus jobs. So if you're lucky enough to get one on campus and have worked around campus, it's great to show that you've been really involved. You can also do volunteer hours. So if you volunteer through your student organizations or just in your own free time, volunteering is working, you're just not getting paid for it. So that's kind of even more impressive that you've done a job without needing compensation. You also have your campus organizations like registered student organizations, Greek Life, maybe the Green and Gold covered, things like that. So you can add any of that to your resume. You don't really have to have a job to be impressive to employers. So just being active in an organization or volunteering can kind of take a place of that job because, again, you've been doing it for free. Think about kind of what direction you're wanting to go in and then find experiences or activities you can do to help you gain skills you'll need in that future career goal of yours.
All right, and then before we move on to our next question, can we have you introduce yourselves?
Yeah, of course. I'm sorry, I forgot to earlier, but I'm Amanda Lowe. I'm the career counselor at ATU.
Hi, and I'm Kyla Stewart. I'm the employer relations coordinator here in Career Services.
All right, and our next question is, how important is it to have a resume when applying for jobs?
So resumes are arguably one of the most important documents alongside your cover letter. Your resume is kind of your first introduction to the employer. So they're not going to meet you right away and know you as a person. They're going to know you as this piece of paper. So you really want to be able to tailor that resume and give the employer all the information they're going to need to get to know you as a professional. So you really want to spend time on this document. A lot of times, small mistakes can make a big impact. Statistics say that sometimes there's like an average of 200 applicants for one job. And if you're one in a pile of 200, you want to make sure that you're going to stand out. So if something's misspelled or your formatting is off or just little mistakes could get you put in the no pile when they're trying to weed through that many applications. Your cover letter is also important, so I wanted to touch on that. Your cover letter is really important because that's your opportunity to actually explain. So your resume is saying, this is all the things I've done, but then your cover letter gives you the ability to actually give a narrative and show them like, okay, you're looking for someone who can communicate and meet deadlines, things like that. And then you can explain how you've communicated in the past and how you have met your deadlines while in school. So you need a resume. You have to have one.
You mentioned that you need to make your resume stand out because you can be 1 in 200 applicants. What's the best way to do that and make it stand out positively?
So one of the greatest ways, I think, is to really customize your resume. A lot of us have past experiences that have been helpful, but maybe you don't need to include all of your experience in your resume for a certain job. So you really want to tailor your resume to the position that you're applying for. So, for example, you may have a part-time job that you did in high school and kind of did the first year of college. Say, let's say McDonald's. That's one of my favorite examples. But then, since working at McDonald's, you've been active on campus and been an orientation leader. You're active in a sorority or fraternity, and you have a lot of leadership positions within that organization. Those things on campus are going to be way more impressive than working at McDonald's. And that's not to say that jobs like McDonald's, restaurants, fast food, or even retail aren't important, because you get a lot of transferable skills there. Customer service is a huge skill to have because everyone's your customer. Your employer's your customer, your coworkers are your customer, your clients are your customer. So you really shouldn't leave that out necessarily. But if it's one in a list of many, we'd focus on the more relevant experiences that you've had. So really just looking at the job description and what they're asking for and tailoring your resume to that. It's really individual. So it'd be easier if we had like a certain example. But one way is just to make sure that you're including what's relevant and important to that employer. Also including a career summary. So in the past, people have used objectives like to obtain a job in blah, blah, blah. But if you're applying for the job, hopefully that's your objective, is to get the job, right? So we've changed it to be career summaries, which kind of detail maybe a title that you have. So experienced career counselor with 2 years of experience in da-da-da-da-da. So it really outlines like your experience, your expertise, and maybe some accomplishments that you've had. And it's a great little intro of yourself to the employer without taking up as much space as a cover letter would. I think that's my main.
Okay, sorry.
No, that was my main points.
Okay. All right, so a lot of students are told that networking is important whenever they get to college. So as far as networking, what are some ways to best network to get a job after college?
Well, I guess that is my side of the coin. So networking is really important. Volunteering, as Amanda said, is not, it's not a paid job, but it is very important. And it is very good to be out in the community. You can volunteer on campus, yes, and that's awesome. And those are very relevant opportunities. But if you're out in the community and you're volunteering with future employers, that's going to build a network that will help you in a career later on. So you've got here in just our community, you've got Las Vegas, which is very big. You've got events through the Chamber of Commerce, which is going to build you networking with, like I said, future employers, business owners, CEOs, things of that nature. You've also got your downtown Russellville events, events on campus like we talked about, the Christmas parade, and just a lot of events that are going on around here. You can volunteer for those, and you can also maybe find internships and jobs, summer jobs and things like that. So that's really a good way to get out of your comfort zone and to be able to touch base with some very important people that will not only help you in now, but in the future. We have a great opportunity that here in Career Services, the Intern for a Day. And that's a good way to test out your field of study as well as network and make those connections as well.
That's cool. I didn't know y'all did that.
Yes, absolutely. And further down the line, these connections that you make, they can also be good recommendations on that you will have on your resume.
And just to kind of add to that really quick, like we talked about tailoring your resume. You can tailor your volunteer experience to match where you're wanting to go. A lot of people volunteer with, like, let's say the Marva workshop, if they're in rehabilitation science and things like that. Teachers can volunteer with the Boys and Girls Club or at an elementary school or something. So you can really customize that experience to help you in the future as well.
Absolutely. When is a good time to start looking for jobs after graduating?
Well, I will definitely say do not wait until after college. You want to start looking for internships, for summer jobs, things like that that are tailored really more toward your field of study as your sophomore year. You're deciding in your freshman year if this is really what you want to do, if you might want to change, and maybe even on into your sophomore year, and that's perfectly fine. Nobody has it all put together at that time. So you want to start looking as early on in your sophomore year. Start to build those relationships by even going to career fairs, talking to employers. Start to look for those internships that are guided toward, like I said, your field of study. See where you're wanting to go. Use that internship for a day to look at the industries, look at different employers that you're interested in. Try to make sure that this is what you have in mind is really what's going to happen later on. And that's early that you can start to adjust to see if you need to do something differently, or if you need to add on, or if you are on that right track. But definitely early is great. Research and follow employers and Handshake. I know sometimes Handshake is, talked about all the time, but there is some great information in there. We have employers all across the country and overseas that you can find and you can learn all about. And as soon as you're set on that major, that's when you need to start looking at those employers that provide those internships and jobs that you're looking for. So attending those career fairs, like I said, start to establish those relationships. Lots of employers want to start looking at you at your sophomore year because they actually want to build those relationships with you so that they can start to see how you're working out through your school years and then look at you later on for when you graduate or if you're going on into your master's. So consider those. A lot of employers will want to do class presentations, talk with them, ask questions, get their contact information, ask them questions about what they need for a job that you're looking for, and then tailor your education that way. It's very important for you to look for those internships, whether you're required to do them or not, because you are gaining that experience that they are requiring for a later job. Not only that, but they are seeing how you work before you're actually working and you're earning pay. If you're looking for one that's a paid internship, that's a great way to earn college money. Anything else that you're needing, if you want toy money, I don't know, a car, something like that. So look at those opportunities. Don't wait. Now is the time to be doing what you need to do for your future.
Gotcha. Okay, so y'all mentioned a lot of great services that y'all have. Other than the ones that you've already mentioned, what other services does the Career Center have that y'all would like to highlight?
So I'll let Amanda talk about her side, and I can tell what I do, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
Okay, awesome. So we definitely have a lot. We try to make as much as we can to really help you guys. So we're always developing new resources, and we've come up with a few new programs. But the main things that we do is, of course, the resume and cover letter critiques. So if you're wondering how to make your resume, or if you need help after you've created one, we can look at that for you and really help you customize it and figure it out for what you're needing. We also do online portfolios and LinkedIn assistance. So if you do an online portfolio where you show your work or showcase some of the things that you've accomplished, we can look over that for you. We can also help you set up your LinkedIn profile. They say like 93% of recruiters are on LinkedIn. So if you're wanting to find a job, LinkedIn may be a great way to do that. So we can help you make sure that you've got it set up professionally and that it's ready to go so that you can start connecting with employers there. We also do interview help. So if you have an interview coming up, you can practice with us and we could do a mock interview via WebEx. We also have a program called Big Interview where you can record yourself answering typical interview questions that's been asked to you by a recorded person. And then you can share those videos with our office and we'll critique your answers for you and give you feedback on what you did well and maybe what you need to include in those answers. You can also reserve our interview room. If you have an interview and you need a quiet place to conduct that interview, you can have the room all to yourself. We also do Elevate. So Elevate is our career advancement academy, and it's a Blackboard classroom that has 6 different modules that start from a self-assessment to see what maybe major if you're earlier on in your college career, or career options if you're senior, and kind of helps you see maybe what would be a good fit for you. And then it goes all the way through career research, resume and cover letter critiques, doing the big interview, and also doing experiential learning and networking. So after you finish all of those assignments, you get a certificate showing that you've done it. You can add it to your resume, and it's just a great way to make sure you've got everything you need lined up.
Fair rate. So we've been going through if for those they are students in their specific field recruiting. So if you haven't set up your session, as actually searching handshake training. I have a lot of that going on, and I'll be continuing that throughout the semester to teach you about job and internship searches, employer searches, event searches, so that you can, there's a lot of employers out there that are just teaching you information about different things going on that you can learn to make connections with them, about different industries, about different subjects that they have and that you're probably studying. Business, clinicals, we have the Mayo Clinic on there. We have USAA teaching about financial. So there's a lot of things going on. Making appointments, there's appointments for myself and for Amanda for the different things that we do. And then job postings. You can look for those job postings, how to find them, how to find the internships, as well as the jobs, either part-time or full-time. We have an amazing career fair website, the career services website. We show you interview questions that are definitely certified by our employers here in the River Valley, and they are spot on. And I can promise you that I've answered them so many times in interviews, and I've even asked them in interviews. So if you're ready to learn about interviewing and you're ready to practice those interview questions, we can lead you right to them on our website. So there's tons of resources on our website, as well as here in our office or outside in the lobby. Whichever one you want to pick those up, you're more than welcome to talk with us, get in touch with us, however you need to reach us for those helpful resources. We're always available, and we're always ready to help each and every one of you as much as we can.
Gotcha. Well, I would like to just say thank you to both of y'all, because I have definitely learned a lot about what y'all do and all the services that y'all offer. So on my end, thank you, and I'm pretty sure for all the students that are watching, they want to send a big, huge thank you as well. I will definitely be in contact with y'all. But for now, thank y'all for joining us, and I wish I were able to answer these questions for us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having
We
us.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Really
That's great. Thank you.
I thank you. So now we will be doing another sweatshirt giveaway.
And our winner is, can I get a drum roll? Congratulations @_Princess Jasmine. You have won a sweatshirt. Please DM us with your DM us at ATU Life on Instagram with your name, sweatshirt size, and we will let you give you some other further instructions on how to get your sweatshirt. All right, now it is time for our next topic. Next up, we'll be talking about the graduate college. Some of you might have some questions. Some of you might already know about the graduate college, but we will still answer some of those questions. So make sure you tune in because you might learn something that you didn't know.
Yes, we have another special guest for you guys here to help us out with this topic. And joining us is Caitlin Beard, who works in the graduate admissions office.
Hey guys, my name is Caitlin Beard. I guess they just told y'all that. But I am the graduate admissions officer in the Office of Admissions. Work hand in hand with the graduate college, helping students get into graduate college and make that transition.
Very today. We're going to get started with the questions. My first question is, what careers require a graduate degree? You don't have to list all of them, but can you give us the timeline for them?
Yeah.
Graduate degree.
Definitely. And I think I'm just going to push back and say what career does not offer, what career does not require a graduate degree. Research shows that within like the past 5 years that employers, I have a lot of data I can pull up, but employers, they're increasing the minimum requirement. So basically the master's is the new bachelor's degree. And I know it kind of sucks for us, but if you want to just get a position and to begin with, but to get a raise, to get a promotion, anything like that, employers are wanting those degrees. And so, if you want to be a teacher, if you want to get paid more as a teacher, you need a degree. If you work in business, you want to get that MBA. So there's rarely jobs out there that aren't wanting their employees to go on and get that graduate degree.
You kind of touched on, oh, I'm sorry, LeBron, I just cut you off. Goodness. You kind of touched on some reasons why students might want to get a graduate degree. What are some other reasons besides a higher pay and
Yeah, really just to, expand your knowledge. And a lot of students, they think that, oh, I have a degree in business, I have to get an MBA. Or, a lot of students come to graduate college to change careers. They got their bachelor's degree like in psychology, and now they want to go into business. And so they'll go and get their MBA. Students who say, like for me, want to work in higher education. My undergrad was in communications. And so now I went and got my master's in higher education. And so a lot of students get that graduate degree to change careers, but also to advance their careers and get that promotion too. But even starting out, there's so many students that go ahead and knock out that master's to begin with. And we'll talk about that later, but it's definitely, something to go ahead and do, especially, while you're young. Not taking the break to do that, but yeah.
Definitely. I graduate next May, and I'm a middle level education major, and I want to stay and get my master's for school counseling. And I don't want to have to go teach and then come back and get it, so I plan on getting it right after I graduate.
Yes. Well, we will talk soon then.
Yes.
All right. So how many graduate degrees does Tech offer?
Technically, we offer 41 degrees, certificate programs, and endorsements. Specifically, degree seeking programs, there are about 26, but there are also, licensure only type programs and different tracks within those degree programs.
A lot to choose from.
Yeah.
It's a lot. What information do you have on graduate assistant positions?
Yeah, so those graduate assistantship positions are basically handled within each department. So if you're looking for an academic graduate assistantship, it would typically be within the department that you were studying in. Several students get academic assistantships outside of their department, but definitely your first point of contact would be that program director. They would know, they could point you in the right direction. But definitely don't count out the non-academic assistantships, like for you guys who work in residence life. There are a lot of graduate assistants who are residence directors. Is that the correct term? No, it changed. Our community directors is resident. Okay. I know it's different. I can't remember which one it was here, but they have that position, several positions there. And then, within student life, they have a ton, but really those you apply within those specific departments. And then once you are chosen. The graduate college processes all that, and make sure that all of the funding is applied to your account and stuff, and keeps up with that. Make sure that you are enrolled in the correct number of classes and things like that. But those are really department within each department. We do have a web page on the grad college page. You can click on menu and click on assistantships, and if there are any that are open, they will post those there. They're starting to post some now. They typically will start posting those in, April, May-ish for those that are open. And I know within my dog, y'all, I know within Residence Life, they're starting to have those open now. So I'm sure y'all may even know more than I do about that. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot out there, and more will be coming open soon for fall.
Awesome.
All right, so our next question is, are there any scholarships available for graduate school?
Yes, and so many graduate students don't think that there are. You definitely have to look a little bit harder than you did for undergrad. But there are some out there, within like graduate assistantships. You get full tuition if you have a graduate assistantship on top of a stipend that you get. So that's definitely a great scholarship. That's full tuition. But there are others out there. The ATU Foundation, they have several specific scholarships just for graduate students. There are scholarships that aren't specific to undergrad that graduate students can apply for. We have on our website, there's a funding page. It's atu.edu/grad-college/funding. It has all of the different funding opportunities that we have, and we list those foundation scholarships that are eligible to graduate students. But the most important one is that we just implemented it's called a Tech Ready tuition waiver. And so if you apply by the priority deadline, there are some additional requirements that you have to meet, like you have to be enrolled full-time, et cetera. But as long as you apply by that priority deadline, March 1st for fall, October 1st for spring, you will be eligible to receive a $500 tuition waiver off your first semester. So that's like a class and a half for free off that first semester. So it's pretty worth it to go ahead and get that application in by those priority deadlines.
That's awesome. Okay, so is there a comprehensive guide to get started with grad school and applying to grad school?
Yes, I am your comprehensive guide. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that is on my to-do list to help students with. But I do offer weekly informational sessions where students can meet virtually. I'm in the admissions office every other week that students can stop by from tech. But of course, we do have those weekly sessions that students from elsewhere can meet with me and basically just walk you through the process of everything. But yeah, I'm definitely the person to go to. So whatever questions you have, definitely come to me and I will hold your hand and walk you through it.
Yes, that sounds good. All right, so we have to say, what would you say that that person who moved to grad school would be?
Yeah, so typically grad school is about 2 years. Most programs are between 30 and 36 hours. So, with undergrad, if you do the math, that's undergrad's about 120 hours. But with grad school, like a master's level program, is about 36 hours. I know for Zoe, the school counseling program is a little bit longer. It's about 45 hours, but that's rare for one to be that long. But, for grad school, 9 hours is considered full-time compared to undergrad is 12 hours or 15 hours. And, if you're a graduate assistant, you only have to be enrolled in 6 hours per semester. And so a lot of our graduate assistants, they'll do 6 hours per semester, fall, spring, summer, fall, spring, and they typically will take about 2 years to complete that program. But a lot of our students are students who are, working full time and they come back to get their master's, or they're teaching full time and they're also working on their master's. And so there's definitely students who just take 3 hours or take 6 hours. That's the grad college. It's very flexible. You don't have to do a certain amount. You don't have to take a certain set of classes. And so it really just depends on how fast or how slow you want to go. We have some programs that you can zip right through and you can complete it in 10 months. So.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. I'm learning so many things that I didn't know.
For sure.
What are the requirements to be admitted to the graduate college at Tech specifically?
Yeah, so the general requirements for the grad college are a 2.5 overall GPA or 3.0 in your last 30 hours, because sometimes your overall GPA isn't too hot because freshman year happens. But if you have a 3.0 in your last 30 hours, that's okay. Or if you already have a graduate degree from an accredited institution, you don't have to worry about your undergraduate GPA. So that's pretty cool. And then, of course, you have to have a bachelor's degree. You can go ahead and apply to grad school. You don't have to wait until you graduate to apply. That's really a common misconception. You can go ahead and apply now. Even if you're not graduating until spring of 2022, you can go ahead and start the application. And then we'll just need that, conferred degree once you get it before you can register for classes or anything. But you can go ahead and get your application in now. So other requirements, are dependent on each program. And so unlike undergrad, as long as you have the certain ACT and the certain GPA, you'll be admitted or whatever. But with grad school, each program has, specific requirements for them. Some, half of them do. So some require like a 3.0 GPA instead of that 2.5. Some ask for a GRE or a GMAT. As well. Some want letters of recommendation, some want a statement of intent. So it really depends on that program. So step one is making sure you meet the requirements for the grad college, and then looking at the program you're interested in to see if you meet those requirements. And so even then though, we also have what's called conditional admission. So if you don't meet all of those requirements, the program directors are great in that they really look at the student holistically. And so if you see that the requirement's a 3.0 and you have a 2.97, don't think that you're just absolutely, not going to be admitted. They're really going to look at your statement of purpose, or, they're going to look at your letters of recommendation, and they're really going to try to see, is this person going to be a best fit? And is that 2.97 going to make a difference in them not being successful in grad college? So don't be scared of the strict requirements for admission.
All right, so if we didn't cover any questions that the student might have had or that they sent to us today, how might they be in contact with you if they have any other questions? You have a chat that y'all use, just via email?
Yeah, so I can give y'all my phone number. You can text or you can call it. It's 479-888-2421. I'll repeat that again, 479. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you can text or you can call that number, whatever. Our email is graduateadmissions@atu.edu. I'd give you my email, but my name is weird, so graduateadmissions@atu it's a lot easier to find us. But yeah, you can stop by the office anytime, well, Monday through Thursday. And, we can chat with you definitely if you're a current student at ATU and you want to talk, or we can meet virtually. Even if it's not during our set virtual times, as long as I'm available, I'm more than willing to set up a time to meet with a student to talk. So.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I learned a lot of information that I didn't know. That's going to be very helpful, and I'm sure it's going to be helpful to so many students. And thank you for taking some time out of your night to come with us and chat.
Yes, for sure. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, guys, for having me.
I'll definitely be adding the application to my to-do list. Give me some more.
Yes, and I will hold you to it.
All right, well, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you around campus.
All right. Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That is not the end of our episode. If you want to know from season 1, you already probably guessed it. It's time for another giveaway. And this time, instead of 1, we'll be doing 2. So, can we get another drum roll, please? Congratulations at Shavy13, and then at MADCHEN. So if y'all are still watching, please make sure you DM us on Instagram with your name and your sweatshirt size, and we'll let you know what you need to do in order to claim those sweatshirts.
Yes, and it is time to wrap up this episode, but don't worry, we will be back next Thursday at 7 p.m. to talk about internships.
We enjoyed talking to everybody tonight, and hopefully y'all can join us next weekend and ask us any questions that you have for that upcoming episode.
And one last thing, another sweatshirt giveaway.
Another sweatshirt to give away?
Wait, I'm just kidding. Not another sweatshirt giveaway. I messed up.
Well, you know what? Why not? Why not do another sweatshirt giveaway? All right. Do y'all have a name for me? Okay, let's see. Drum roll, please. All right, we have at Kyler Stollarik. I do not know how to pronounce that. Whenever you come and get your t-shirt, maybe you can tell me. But thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. Like we said before, make sure you DM us your sweatshirt size, and we'll make sure that we get you the information you need so that you can get the sweatshirt.
Yes, I'm sorry I almost cheated you out of that sweatshirt. I won't let it happen again. I won't. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week on ATU Live.
All right, see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.